Hello, my name is Jay St.Goddard, elected tribal leader of Blackfeet Tribal Business Council, who was illegally removed back in March of 2012 over a so-called hunt we did with some professional music singers, artists that had been going on for 2 years. I know it was just jealousy set up because of all of the good economic things we were doing as a council, myself, Jay Wells, Mr. Paul McKevers, and moving forward with a lot of good things. And one of the reasons they removed me is probably just because they disliked me, because I spoke out a lot against things that they were trying to do, mostly corruption on Mr. Shannon Ogier's part. I don't consider him a councilman, and I always address him as a state person, state senator. Now we have another one elected, and I wonder where their priorities are, with us or the state. But in the beginning, Mr. Ogier was illegally elected. He defrauded the election. That was a main question and concern, and I think from that day forward, because I spoke up for one of the candidates he ran against, was one of our fights from the beginning. But since my removal, I've had no venue in court. These guys are running our police force. They're running our court system, which is federally funded by the government. We're asking the Interior come in and give us a hand, because right now our government is being run on a so-called executive council emergency. That don't exist in our Constitution. It only happens if we can't get to town, if there's a storm, a major disaster, or if some funding needs to be addressed ASAP until full council. And that has to be ratified within 24 or 48 hours. So right now they're doing what they want. It's unconstitutional. My rights have been violated from the get-go. This trumped up charges when they suspended me. I have an excerpt here that I hear they're trying to doctor up, well, that wasn't said. They removed me with 5 counsel. And they keep referring back to a case of Schultz versus Thomas. And our Constitution says expulsion will call for 9 counsel. So they do call for 9 counsel for removal. There's no such thing as a suspension. Maybe you suspend them for 5 days to get their documents or their arguments in place, but they suspended me for 60, and that 60 days was for them to build a case on me on which they don't have. They went around, interviewed programs, people, and to date they ain't got a darn thing on me. It's a crock of BS. But through all this, attorney's fees has costed me. I have several documents from my attorney. We've tried to file them at the courts, and even my due process was gone. We appealed it to the appellate court. That didn't take. Because they're afraid of their jobs, they used an appeal case on Schultz. But again, they can't compare that one to what happened here, because all 9 counsel were present. We called in roll call. Everyone was present, and we give him his due process. I did not have that, and to date, I still don't have it. There's still no, they tell everybody they investigate or interview, oh, there's charges coming down. 3 months ago, it was charges coming down on 4 of us. To date, we haven't seen any. I'm guilty of nothing. This is just Mr. Ogier's articulate way of trying to make himself look good or bad. But we have documentation. The whole thing about this thing is Shannon's covering up for his wrongdoing of his family, his dad, himself, Willie Sharp's wrongdoing with Head Start. And there's just a lot of corruption that I brought forward by these people voted me off. But I'd like to make it clear, when those 4 voted me off, the people that put me in office, the 2,500 plus people, showed that they didn't want, they showed in their actions that these people wouldn't be re-elected. That's who spoke. That was our people who remove and put people on, is our people. And that's who we work for. This is about them and their rights. But in the excerpt, I just want to let people know, my due process has never been followed. Mr. Shannon Ogier makes a motion to the Blackfeet Legal Department to direct the tribal court, judges, and personnel department to take no further action in the case of Jesse J. St.Goddard.